Hi there everybody, Martin here, the teaching professional at Southwick Park Golf Club. In trouble in the trees. What do? Don't panic, number one. You've hit it here, so let's deal with it. So when you get to these positions here where the ball has come stymied against a tree and you can't play it right-handed, I could probably nudge this right-handed, but I risk hitting my hand against the tree or damaging my club. The safest way will be, and the most effective way, is to play it either left-handed in this backhanded method, or potentially play it left-handed if you want to be a bit more adventurous and maybe get the ball closer to the green or something. So first off, this little backhanded one, very still with your body. You're just going to use your hands and wrists like a hinge here. I get the ball, just keep the ball dead opposite your feet, and you've got to concentrate if you can on coming down and hitting the ground and the ball at the same time. So I think once you've made your mind up here, be very still and then just go for it. So a bit of concentration required. Use a lofted club. And I've got that on the green, so good effort, happy with that. The other way, a bit more adventurous I guess, is to play it left-handed. Something you wouldn't normally try, so you can turn your right-handed sand iron upside down. It'll sort of look like a left-handed club. Nice and, unless you practice this, probably quite tricky, but it isn't that hard actually to get it right. So once you're into position, okay, I've sort of circumnavigated my problem. I've got one on the green and one on the edge, so I could make an up and down maybe. Moving on, tricky shot on the lip of a bunker. This undoubtedly is a tricky one. Something that could happen on the course when the ball sort of rolled down the slope and just got hung up before falling into the bunker. Now, a bit like we talked about playing from the wrong side of a tree, we could have hit it that way maybe. We could have tried the left-handed one, but in this instance, come back into the bunker. Look, I'm on a bit of a slope here, so I'm going to have to brace into the slope. I think the secret to this shot is hands and arms. I'm going to be very still. I'm going to try and really concentrate on making my contact with the ball and the ground at the same time. It's dead arms. Just try and feel the weight of your arms. Don't try and hit this too hard. The main thing here is to try and get ourselves on the green and have a chance of a putt. It's not perfect, but I'm going to take that. It wasn't the hardest shot in the world to play, but better than having to take a drop or panicking. Use plenty of loft. That was my sand iron. Here's a place you might find yourself. I'm actually down the right hand side of 13 here. You've got two options probably from this shot. It's chip out sideways and cost yourself a shot, or if you feel brave and confident, I reckon I can squirt this somewhere up round by the green with the right technique. There's a great little Skechers advert with Matt Kuchar for it's like the Matt Kuchar Clinic or something, and he's in the trees and the guy says, he says, any questions? And the guy says, yeah, when do you chip out sideways? And he says, when you still live at home with your mama. And then he takes on this impossible gap. So this definitely is an impossible gap. I've got a low lofted iron in my bag. 5 iron will do it. This is 4. We're going to play it off our back foot with our hands ahead, and I'm going to come across it so I get some swerve, some spin on the ball. So I'm going to stand a little bit open and swing out and across off a back foot ball position. Now if this goes really wrong, I'm probably going to be in more trouble, but if you're brave and if your handicap's low enough, you don't want to waste shots just chipping out sideways. Here goes. That's good. So that's the way to play it. Off the back foot, out and across. Same way as if you had to draw it a little bit, you'd play it in the same way. I'd stand a bit shut, I'd use more loft, probably go to a 5 or 6 and have that in to out path to try and draw it round a tree. But yeah, we move on. This is probably the one that no one wants. You've hit a terrible shot and you're in this hay. My real advice for you is take your medicine, right? Get your loftedest club and hack it out onto the fairway. My advice to you really is around the technique here. Really early wrist break and very steep angle of a descent. You can't risk gathering too much of this before the ball, or you will never get it out. And don't choose too low a lofted club, because the main is just get it out in one go. Steep, down, attacking. It'll do, I'm out and moving. Here's one for you. You've got a lovely shot down here, you get your ball, it's not preferred lies, you're in a juicy big fresh divot. Do you know what I think about that? Put your divot back, obviously, because that's just lazy, but sometimes the crows come and remove it. What I honestly think about it is it's not a massive problem. I'm going to take a divot. It just means I'm taking a deeper divot than the one I'm already in. So I wouldn't lose too much sleep over these ones, really. It's more in the head than a physical challenge to you. So don't let it bother you, because you're trying to hit the ball in the turf at the same time. I'm in a really steep divot here. So yeah, just needs a bit of concentration and a bit of commitment to the shot, really. You wouldn't believe me if I told you, but that's quite close. Put it back, stamp it down. And down there after this shot, just had another little thought come into my head. So let's say you've got a terrible temper. I've mended a few putters over the time I've been here, and somehow you've bent or snapped your putter. You're without a putter. So you can use one of your other clubs, and honestly, some people get this a little bit wrong. I mean, if you've ever watched tour players do it, it's the famous Ben Crenshaw, I think, snapped his putter over his knee and then carried on. I don't think he didn't affect his score too much. I think he went on to make a few more birdies, because it's about the way you strike the ball. So played a good little 8-iron out of that divot. When you play a shot out of a divot, it'll have quite a lot of spin on it if you get it right, because you're really crunching down on it. So yeah, I'm going to show you what to do if you break your putter. And I actually have been here before when I played a match and had done some putting practice at home and left my putter at home. So I went on and used the leading edge of my sand iron. It's a pretty straight line, that part, and if you hit the ball roughly just above its equator, it'll roll quite purely. So I reckon this is a bit left edge, isn't it? So I'm gonna have one go at it. I will repair this pitch mark in a minute, promise. It's pretty terrible, actually. I'm gonna see if I can make the other one. God, these greens are quicker than I thought. Don't break or leave your putter at home. You're gonna have a load of 3 putts. Thanks for watching, everybody. Apart from that bit of putting nonsense at the end, it was good fun. And just as I'm walking back in, it just reminds me of back in the summer. I was out here with Sam Whiteaway having a playing lesson, and Sam Whiteaway stuck his ball here. It was in bounds, but there's no way he could play it. Not backhanded. He would have probably, the only way he could have done was just squirt it sideways. No, Sam didn't. He hopped over the barbed wire, played it from that side, through the wire, hit the ball onto the green. One of the best escapes I've ever seen, because he used a bit of imagination, and that's what you should do in these situations. So who wants to be boring? See you all again next week.